Welcome back to another episode of the Self Care Revolution. Today, I want to start with a question though, because I want to know if I'm the only one that does this. All right. Like, have you ever told yourself, oh, I need to get back on my diet, or I need to work out consistently, or this is my favorite, I need to save some money, right? Or I need to grow my business, or I need to get my life together. Like, how many times have you told yourself those things? Then a week later, you're back where you started from. Like, I know that I'm not the only one. But I feel like most people assume that they have a problem with motivation. Like, oh, I'm not just that motivated, but motivation comes after the action. All right. So I don't think motivation is the problem because I've been sitting here thinking about, why I keep ending up back at the beginning on some of these as well. And that's how I came up with the daily five, to be honest. Because I think that most of the time it's like when you decide I need to get my shit together, we want to create this whole long list of new things that we're going to change all at the same time. And that is what sets us up for failure. I don't listen, it's just like working out. I remember when I first really started getting back into the workout regularly, uh, schedule, right? Like just doing something all the time. I spent a lot of time not working out. And so I was thinking, oh, you know what? I'm about to stop drinking. I'm about to start eating like this. I'm about to start going to work out on this many days. I set myself up for failure because that is overwhelming. You cannot keep up. Okay. What we'll tend to do as humans is um we decide to improve our lives, and then we're like launching a full scale like full court press, okay? Like a new diet plus a new workout plan. And that workout plan says, hey, you gotta wake up at 5 a.m. when you normally know your ass don't get up until 10. Then in that you have to drink a gallon of water, which you haven't really been drinking your water like that. Then you want to start journaling, start reading 10 pages a day, and you want to save money. Oh, and you want to launch that business. Like these are the things that we do, and then we sit up there and fall short because that's a hefty list, right? And after that, we feel bad. You know what I'm saying? The problem is not ambition. It's not motivation. The problem is capacity. What can you hold? How much do you have space for, right? You don't need 25 new habits. You just need proof that you could keep one promise to yourself consistently, because the repetition is what, builds the self-trust, because all of this boils down to self-trust. Because it's ironic how the things that we skip are the things directly for ourselves. And so nobody really is going to stop you and say, hey, you're not taking care of yourself. It's just going to slip under the rug because you're showing up for everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the Daily Five gives you five simple promises you can practice every day, which builds your self trust, which means that whenever you want to start a new workout regimen or launch a business or whatever, you already have prove to yourself that you trust yourself to do what you say you're going to do. Okay, that's what it's really all about. Because motivation is not going to carry you through. Motivation shows up after you've already like put something in motion. It's great when it's there, but what are you going to do when it's fucking not there? What are you going to do? Because that is when you have your problem. Because if you rely on motivation, then it's going to be whenever it shows up. But our moods aren't like that. Some days you might be excited, some days you might be tired. What about the days when, I haven't had many of these days because I don't look at it like this, but what about if you have a day where life's slinging you around by the edges or punching you in the face, right? What are you going to do? Like, that's where your systems that you put in place matter, because shit is going to happen anyway. It doesn't matter who you are. But what you can control is how you show up, right? I'm not going to show up dehydrated, malnourished, lack of sleep, because I'm taking care of those things. So I'm ready for whatever. So it's really just about having a simple maintenance system, which is the daily five: hydrate, nourish, move, rest, and reflect. Okay, because you don't even have to be inspired to do those things, because you just know that you have to do them because they are maintenance. Okay, a personal example is, the things that I do before I work. It touches those daily five, right? But if I don't like take a walk or do a workout or even stretch or get something, some real food in my body or whatever, like that, it really is on my mind, like, oh my god, I didn't take care of myself, right? And that sends a certain message to me. But those small actions keep momentum alive. Have a little breakfast, have a little stretch, get outside and get some sun. You know what I'm saying? Get a good night's sleep. Like these are things that people rarely really focus on intentionally, because it's easy to be like, oh, I'm gonna stay up late to hang out with this person, or I'm gonna get up in the morning and rush through my morning routine just to get to work and serve my boss. No, that's not how we need to be living. Okay, small actions build self-trust, and self-trust is what helps you keep the habits that you need to have. You know what I'm saying? So one of the biggest things people overlook is self-trust. um, but I just been thinking about it because I'm like, what is it? Like, what is the reason why the daily five is so important? It's important because these are the basic habits that you're gonna have on repeat, and they're gonna build your self trust. And the honest thing about it is, everybody's, it's different levels to this, right? It's different levels to how you take care of yourself. But we just need everybody to be focused on taking care of themselves first, so that you could be here for whatever else you need to do. Okay. Because every time you tell yourself, like, I'm gonna do this, and then you don't do it, like, what would you do if a person kept coming to you and say, hey, yeah, I'm gonna pay you $5 for this, or I'm gonna do this for you, I'm gonna do that, and then they never did it? You would be like, I don't trust that person. That person get out of my face. That is what you're doing to yourself, okay? And it's not because you're intentionally doing it, not because you're lazy, but you know, it's just that our brains collect evidence, okay? And that's the reason why you can't stick to the workout plan. That's the reason why you can't stick to the new diet regimen. You can't stick to, the steps you need to do to launch the business, because you don't trust yourself, because you're not even taking care of your basic needs. Make sense? I hope that makes sense, because once you figure that out, you cannot skip yourself, okay? You cannot skip yourself, because every time that you follow through on something small, like eating something really good for yourself, or keeping your word on, having that morning walk or whatever, um drinking enough water, right? Going to bed and getting a good night's sleep consistently, right? Even if it's journaling, writing down your thoughts. They seem like boring, tiny, insignificant things, but they're actually the thing that you need to be doing, because it's identity building, it's self building, self trust. You're becoming somebody who follows through, right? And that carries into everything else: your fitness goals that you set, your nutrition goals that you set, your business goals that you set, financial goals, personal goals. We can go on and on down that list. All right. That's the whole point, because neglecting the basics is what makes everything harder. It's because you haven't focused on what you're eating that you're upset when you get here. You flick off because you haven't gotten enough rest, and you're not paying it. You're just constantly breaking promises to yourself, or not even paying attention to yourself and your basic needs, that it just makes everything harder. Okay. With, like, this is the part where, like, we're talking about you're in your real life, right? um like, let me try to put it like this. Have you ever tried to, like, work on a business while you're exhausted? Like, maybe you have a 9 to 5, and you're trying to work on your business, and you're while you're exhausted, right? Or you're trying to stick to a diet, but you're also sleep deprived and exhausted. All right, it makes it a little bit harder to do. Or what about, like, you're trying to make financial decisions, but you're stressed out about other stuff, you know what I'm saying? Or you try to exercise consistently, but you're running on junk food. Like, it's canceling each other out. All right, the basics affect every single thing. I don't even know if I can think of examples for everything off the top of my head, but let's try. We're gonna see how the basics affect everything. Hydration is going to affect your energy. You might get headaches, you might have poor focus, okay? And rest is also going to affect your energy, but it's also going to affect everything else is going to be harder. Everything else you have to do is going to be harder, okay? Nourishment is another one that goes right along with hydration. It's going to affect your focus. It's going to affect the decisions that you're going to make. Your body running on fumes is, like, just a recipe for disaster. Okay. And then want to talk about energy, we can take movement. Movement affects your energy. It gets rid of, energy creates energy. You know what I mean? So you need to get into moving your body so that you're not holding in all types of stuff. And then the last one is reflection. Without reflection, you keep repeating the same patterns that you've been repeating. So um, that's just my little short list of how the basics affect everything. All right. I mean, this is just science to me, because if you're making business deals, you're trying to make, music, you're trying to start a business, you're trying to raise kids, you're trying to, whatever it is you're trying to do, if you take care of yourself first, as far as making sure that you've eaten, gotten enough sleep, gotten rest, all of that, then what kind of decisions would you make if you showed up as that person? You make the best decisions, all right? Because the daily five is maintenance. It supports you as you're trying to achieve the goal. All right, it's the basic stuff that you need. Because if you're not maintained, then I don't know how you get into this goal. Okay. So, but another thing that we do is we chase perfect. Like, if it's not perfect, I can't start, or I'm waiting for this before this happens. But where we really need to be practicing, I'm getting stumbling off my words. What we really need to be practicing is staying consistent. Consistency is the cheat code, okay? The cheat code. That's just every time you show up, you're stacking little compound things on top of compound things. So it's not about perfection. And it's like, okay, I'm about to start this workout plan and it's 55 minutes. Oh, you only did it for 45 minutes and you only did it, 3 days a week instead of 4 days a week. That's still consistent, right? Don't beat yourself up about not completing it. Just show up again to stack on top of the compound stuff that you've already set out there. It's about repetition, right? You don't need perfect workouts, perfect meal plans, perfect morning routines. Just keep showing up. That's the goal. You just need enough consistency to build momentum. You're trying to build that chain of momentum. You show up Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You didn't show up Saturday, Sunday. Maybe you didn't show up Monday, but then look, we about to show up Tuesday. We're gonna keep coming back. Okay, some days you're gonna hit all five of the daily five. Some days you might only hit three. Some days you might do the bare minimum. Okay, but the win is that you're gonna come back tomorrow and try again. All right, because if you can see some of my workouts, I'm not, having perfect workouts every day, but I'm, working out for the amount of time that I said I was going to work out, and that's the goal, to show up. It's not about being pretty, all right? The win isn't coming back tomorrow. The goal isn't a perfect day, and that's where we fuck ourselves up, because we think that everything got to be perfect, and no. It's not. The goal is just becoming a person who maintains themselves consistently. That's it. All right. So the Daily Five was never designed to be one of those things that you make another to do list. It's not another program. It's not none of that. It's not even a finish line. It's something that is ongoing. It's like the practice field. Because like I said, if you practice keeping, consistent habits with maintaining yourself, you are set up to achieve all the goals that you're going to achieve, because you got self-trust and you are used to showing up for yourself. So every glass of water counts, every walk counts, every healthy meal counts, every night of rest that you get, that counts. All right, every moment of reflection, you're practicing being somebody who follows through. That's the goal, somebody who follows through. And when you build that skill, it just starts showing up everywhere else. It bleeds into everywhere else, in your health, your finances, your relationships, your business, your future. I can go on and on and on. All right, because I said this in another video. Future you doesn't inherit your intentions, okay? Future you inherits what present you maintain. So whatever it is that you're maintaining now is what you're going to present to your future you, all right? That's it in a nutshell. I hope that made sense, okay? But if you're already following the podcast, shout out to you. I appreciate it. But if you are not, please follow us. We are on Apple, Spotify. There is also a YouTube channel as well. If you've been struggling to stay consistent with better goals, whatever it is, stop trying to fix everything at once. Because I guarantee you're that person who'll be like, okay, I'm about to get up at 5 a.m. I'm about to work out Monday, 4 days a week. I'm about to do, and you got like five things that you got to do, and it's never happening. All right. You just have to start with the daily five. Start with the basics. We're going to Mr. Miyagi this shit, right? This is what it is. The wax on, wax off. He thought it had nothing to do with what he was doing, and then he realized that it did. The Daily Five is your Mr. Miyagi moment, all right? Focus on your basics, and everything else is going to fall into place, all right? Consistency is the goal, not perfection, okay? So, start with the Daily Five. All right. If you have a problem remembering like what is self-care, how to incorporate it, I do have a free tracker. Download the free self-care tracker, on www.selfcaremattersdaily.com. And then if you really want to be serious about it, there's also a 30-day workbook that you can check in each day. And by the end of that 30 days, you definitely are not going to be able to unsee the stuff that you'll learn about yourself. Okay. You'll be able to make the perfect morning routine to incorporate exactly what you need in your day, because it's really not about whatever you're doing for work. It's really about how well you handle your daily five. Okay. So download the self-care tracker or grab the workbook. We're going to be going through it in July. We're checking in with my personal 30 self-care daily check-in in July. So join us for that on Facebook or YouTube. But just remember, it's not perfectly, it's not to be consistently. I'm sorry. Let's rewind that. It's not to be perfect, it's to be consistent, all right? Because consistency isn't something that you just stumble upon. It's something that you train, something that you practice for. So let's do that. Join me in July, and also share this episode with somebody who you feel like needs to hear it. All right, I'm your girl, Demita, and I'll see y'all in the next episode. Peace.